Hi everyone, from me, Brent Graham, and welcome to this Stage 10 betting preview of the Tour de France, brought to you by goodforthegame.co.za. We will, of course, be having a look back as well at the action from Sunday. What a stage we had. It wasn't long, but there were plenty of climbs and terrible conditions for the riders. I don't think I've ever seen guys suffer as much as I've seen these riders suffer from Friday through to Sunday. Three incredibly tough stages, hard ridden, and so attritional. We'll have a look at the profile for stage 10 in just a moment, but let's rather go to that result. And of course, for me, it was a big one. I've made no secret of the fact that I needed a winner. It hasn't been the greatest Tour de France for me from a betting perspective. And Ben O'Connor, what a champion. He didn't just win, he pulverized the field, coming in 5 minutes and 7 seconds ahead of Matteo Catania, who came in a very worthy second place there. And that thrusts him into second position. At one stage, he was the virtual yellow jersey on the road. At one point, I was also worried when he was riding with the two Colombians, Gita and Quintana, and the two of them were clearly working against Ben O'Connor. And then we found out why. He was clearly the strongest of the three, and both of them exploded on the final climb. Quintana going very early. Gita, he hung in for a while before also getting blasted out. And then there was one-way traffic from there. Looking at some of the other places, hats off to Sonny Colbrelli. Who would have pictured him coming third on a mountain stage? He also picked up the 20 intermediate points with Matthews running in behind him there. That was quite an interesting battle. And the fact that he managed to pick up another 15 points has put him right into the green jersey race. He was, of course, my green jersey selection up front, and the 10th stage is going to be crucial for him. And we'll explain that a little bit more in the profile. Having a look further down, we had Tadej Pogačar once again show that he's the boss by just putting in a few seconds into Richard Carapaz and the rest of the gang in the final run-in, and he managed, of course, to retain his yellow jersey there. We'll have a quick look at the outright rankings. And, of course, Pogačar here leading by 2 minutes from Ben O'Connor, with over 5 minutes back now to Uran, and Richard Carapaz 5.5 minutes back. We'll just also have a look at the green jersey points classification. Cavendish, he just made the time cut. I think he had about a minute and a half to spare to make the time cut on that tough stage on Sunday. And he's on 168. You've got Michael Matthews on 130. And Sonny Colbrelli has climbed his way into contention on 121 points. So I'm going to go down and see where Wout van Aert is sitting. He is... Did I miss him there? No, okay. He's quite far down. He hasn't really featured. I see he's 14-1 for the jersey. And Peter Sagan, he's just not the best climber amongst the sprinters anymore. And at the same time, he doesn't quite have the speed. But you'll see I fancy him for a bit of a good run in the 10th stage. Let's have a look at the betting, though. Obviously, Tadej Pogačar, 1-18. I've told the bookies, guys, you've got to price up on a without Pogačar market now, because really only bad luck in running is going to stop Pogačar from winning this Tour de France. It's hard to see. It's really hard to see him losing. So not much interest there in the overall market at the moment, but we should have some without Pogačar betting soon. Having a look at the King of the Mountains, Nairo Quintana. I know a few guys who were on him at 25-1 at the start of the tour. He certainly showed his intentions for the polka dot jersey. He's 14-10. Pogačar still can't be written off. He's at 4-1. Wout Poels are backed at 8-1. I was a bit disappointed on Sunday. He started well. He managed to win the first big climb, but after that he also popped on what was an incredibly tough stage. But I think he's going to battle it out with Quintana and Michael Woods over the coming weeks. Looking at the green jersey points classification, Cavendish drifts further to even money. My man Sonny Colbrelli now in at 4-1. Nasser Bahani, who's been pretty consistent in the sprint finishes, he's 11-2, and Matthews in at 6-1. I'll just quickly want to have a look where Peter Sagan is. He's at 13-2, but it's hard to make a case for him. And Jesper Philipsen, well, he needs to win a stage or two, I think, to get himself in contention there. Let's go back. There's one other classification I do want to have a look at, and that is the team classification. Bahrain victorious now, looking pretty strong in that. Sonny Colbrelli, I think, was originally riding just to try and help out with the team competition, and then ended up getting third spot on stage 9. They're 8-10. Now, Ineos Grenadiers, I checked, I think they're something like 20-odd minutes, 28 minutes behind them, but they're 3-1. And I've had a good look at this over the last few days, and I was waiting for news on Geraint Thomas because he showed improved form on Sunday. And my theory was that if Thomas continues to ride as he says he is going to, then I think Ineos can still take this team competition. They're 3-1 at Sunbet. I have seen quite a bit shorter elsewhere. I think, if you're going to have a bet, Ineos might be the one, although I'm not sure we need to get involved right away. because tomorrow's stage is unlikely to have too big a bearing on the team competition. But if you ask me now, gun to my head, who I would back for the team competition, I'd be going for the Ineos Grenadiers there at 3-1. I think Bahrain are going to run out of steam, and Ineos just have so many good riders, and guys still like Kwiatkowski and that they can get involved in breaks in the third week of the tour. Let's go to the stage. Well, let me go up here for the stage betting, but let's first go to the stage profile. I want to spend a bit of time on this one. So we've got what looks like a straightforward sprint stage tomorrow. From a weather perspective, there's a bit of rain about, a bit of wind, unlikely to get any crosswind action. It could be quite a nervous sort of peloton that make their way along this 190-kilometer route. Also, sometimes guys' bodies don't respond well after the rest day. We'll see if anything happens there, but the fact that there's no climbs or no significant climbs will obviously mean we're unlikely to see anybody go pop. So we've got a nice flat start here, and then we come to the Cat 4 climb, 7.4 kilometers at 2.8%. It's not steep enough to make any big differences. They go over that, and then they go up a non-categorized rise, and I think it's about 4.1 kilometers at 3.8%. So that's getting a little bit steeper. Still, the sprinter should handle it with ease. But this is where I want to spend a bit of time, because I think we're going to see some action here. I think we're going to see Michael Matthews' Bike Exchange and Sonny Cabrelli's Bahrain team try and put Cavendish under pressure here early. Realistically, they know they're not going to drop him out of the stage completely at this point, although certainly it's very unlikely. But given this uphill sprint finish, they might even start working on this climb. But given this uphill sprint finish, I think they might try and keep things together for the sprint, but possibly distance Cavendish a bit so that they can fight it out for the sprint points and make small inroads into the green jersey. Of course, it's not going to be easy to keep together because you're going to get guys breaking from kilometer zero here. They're going to be going for it. In fact, I'm predicting you're going to see Kunik Quick-Step send Kasper Asgreen on a break, even if it's a bit of a solo break, to try and make sure that the other boys don't fight for the major points. So let's see if I'm right. Kasper Asgreen to be in the break, or to certainly be very aggressive at the start of the stage. I do think, though, that Bike Exchange and Bahrain might keep it together to challenge for these points, because they've got to think that if it all together at the end, the Cavendish is going to pull big points on them at the end of the stage, or so you would expect. Anyways, after we finish that sprint finish, we drop down quite steeply, and then you've got quite a long flat road, a bit of a rise here, nothing significant for the guys, and then come down into the finish. The finish itself, well, there's a right turn with about 350 meters to go, and that means that as far as sprinters go, you want to be handy positioned. This will count against a guy like Sonny Cabrelli, who really struggles with the position battle. Matthews probably doesn't have the speed. And you will go through the betting now, and I'll let you know who I fancy for this. Obviously, from Cavendish's point of view, Tim Merlier's out the race now. A number of the Arnaud Demar didn't make the time cut, so he doesn't have that much to beat here as far as the sprint finish goes. His team are going to have to work hard because he's not going to get a lot of help now. There's two differences on this stage compared to a sprint stage early in the week. First of all, I expect a stronger break to go, particularly if they keep it together for the sprint. You can imagine with this rise here, a very strong break could go and be very difficult for Quick-Step to pull back. They're certainly going to throw all their resources, though, at bringing it back if there is a strong break. So that's the one thing that's going to be a bit different. And the other different thing is Quick-Step are not going to get the amount of teams to help them chase the break as they would previously, because of the fact that some of the other sprinters are out. So they're going to have to do a lot more work on their own. I'm not 100% convinced this is going to come to a sprint finish, although certainly Cavendish has got the team to put him there and put him in position. Right, so now let's assume there is a sprint finish. Position will be crucial at this point. I think that Cavendish's side are going to have to work, his team are going to have to work very hard. They may not be as fresh and have as many men coming into the final stretch. And for that reason, I'm going to try and beat Cavendish in the sprint finish. And let's go and have a look at the betting now and see where I'm going to go. I'll bring it up here. I have written the preview for Good for the Game, and you'll see there that my selections have actually shortened a bit since I priced them up. But I'll start off with Cavendish 5-4. Wout van Aert, who's now said he will be sprinting, 11-2. He's excellent at being in the right position at the right time. Nasser Bahani 13-2. Philipsen, he's been very quiet over the mountain stages. He's 13-2. Bol 12-1. Pedersen 14-1. And here's Peter Sagan at 16-1. Now, Sagan clearly doesn't have the speed of the past. He's not climbing as well as he did. But one thing we know about Peter Sagan is he is capable of finding the right wheel. And that is going to be important here with a finish, with a turn that's so close to the end. And I'm actually going here for my first bet on the stage, and in fact, my main bet on the stage, as a man who's now in form, having backed Ben O'Connor. We've got 1 unit, Peter Sagan, top 3 at 7-2. I'm not going to go for him for the win. I think he's going to find 1 or 2 better than him. But I've got a feeling that due to his excellent tactical nous when it comes to these sprint finishes, that he might just run into the top 3 there. Then the remainder of my bets are actually assuming that we get a strong break and that the break manages to stay away. Now, you'll see by my bet stake size, I'm not overly confident on that, but I'm going quarter unit on Kung at 66-1. When I tipped him on the preview, he was actually 80-1, so there's been a bit of a shortening there. He's certainly a powerful guy. He's also capable of going for a late break on his own, being quite a good time trialist. He can maybe fend the field off there. Quarter unit on him. I'm actually going half unit on Stuyven for a win at 100-1. He was 125-1. So, I mean, he has shortened it to hundreds. It's still a massive price. I've just got to sneak about this guy. He's also very, very strong, can win from the break, very fast. And, yeah, just got a feeling that he's going to give it a real go tomorrow. So I'm going for him there at 100-1. And then I've gone for my namesake, Brent van Moer, at 150-1. He likes to get involved in breakaways. I think it was stage 3, possibly, where he was just caught at the end. I think it was the stage that Merlier won. I can't remember if it was definitely that one or it could have been the Cavendish stage. But anyway, he certainly has shown, much like his teammate Thomas de Gent, that he enjoys getting in the breaks. And yeah, I'm going to have a little bit of a nibble. You can't do much harm at 150-1. Well, that's it for this day. We'll be back on either Tuesday night or Wednesday morning for stage 11. And yeah, let's hope for some action tomorrow. I do, for Cavendish's sake, wouldn't mind him winning because I'd love him to chase history. But I've got a feeling that we're going to see a little bit more drama than what we expected tomorrow. Enjoy the stage, everyone, and we'll see you for stage 11.